You know his name, the god of the dead, the one the Greeks were so afraid of they wouldn't say it aloud. So they called him the Rich One, the Welcoming One, anything but the truth, the Lord of the underworld, the closest thing the ancient world had to a devil. You've been taught he was the villain of Olympus. But here is what no one tells you. Of every god on that mountain, every single one, Hades was the only one who never broke an oath, never betrayed his wife, never lied. So why is the one honest god the one they carved into a monster? The statues lied about him. Here's the truth. When the war against the Titans was won, 3 brothers stood over a conquered world: Zeus, Poseidon, and the eldest of the 3, Hades. They did not fight over the spoils. They drew lots, 3 tokens, cast to decide who would rule what. Zeus drew the sky, Poseidon drew the sea, and Hades drew the world beneath the world, the realm of the dead. He did not choose it. He was not punished with it. The lot fell, and he accepted it without complaint, and he went down into the dark to do the work no one else wanted. Understand what that work was. Hades did not kill. He has never, in any story, taken a single life. He is not death. Death is Thanatos, another god entirely. Hades was the keeper, the administrator, the one who received every soul that came down the long road and saw that each was judged by the same law. King and beggar, hero and coward, weighed on the same cold scale. He built no torture pits for the ordinary dead. He sat in a hall of gray asphodel, and he kept order, and he kept his word, and he almost never left. And that distance, was the beginning of the lie. Because while Hades stayed below tending the dead, his brothers stayed above in the light, where the poets lived, where the temples were built, where the stories were written. And a god you never see is a very easy god to be afraid of. Then came the day that damned his name forever. In a sunlit field at Nysa, a young goddess gathered flowers. Persephone, daughter of Demeter, goddess of the harvest. And Hades, far below, saw her. And for the first time in an age, the lord of the silent hall wanted something for himself. But here is the part the marble leaves out. Hades did not simply take her. He went to Zeus. He went to the king of the gods, who was Persephone's own father, and he asked. And Zeus, sitting in his temple in the light, considered the match between his brother and his daughter, and said yes. Said yes without asking the girl, said yes without telling her mother. Gave his own child away in a whisper, and let his brother take the blame for what came next. The earth tore open in the field at Nysa, a black chariot, 4 black horses, and Persephone was carried down into the dark before she could cry out. The whole world would come to call this Hades's crime, but the hand that signed it away belonged to someone still sitting in the sun. Zeus did it, not Hades. Zeus, the god of the bright sky, the king every Greek prayed to, the father of gods and men. He sold his daughter into the underworld with a nod, and never once paid for it. And once you see that, you cannot unsee the rest. Look at the gods they called good. Look at what they actually did. Zeus, who punished Persephone's abduction by arranging it, spent eternity deceiving, disguising himself as a bull, a swan, a shower of gold, to force himself on mortal women who never consented. Poseidon, lord of the sea, did the same, and worse. The bright gods of Olympus, the ones with the golden temples, were a catalogue of betrayal and appetite and broken oaths. And Hades. In every story that survives, every one, Hades took one wife, and he kept her. He never deceived her. He never strayed. He never raised his hand against a mortal for sport. The god they called the devil was the only faithful husband on Olympus. So ask yourself why. Why did they make him the monster? Because Hades ruled the one thing no human being escapes. Death comes for everyone, the child, the king, the god's own favorite. And a people terrified of death needed to give it a face, a villain, someone to blame. So they took the one god who never wronged them, and they painted him as the enemy. And the gods who actually preyed on them, they kept their thrones in the sun, and their temples, and their good names. Above, Demeter went mad with grief. A mother who did not know her brother king had bargained her daughter away. She let the whole earth die, the first winter, every field gray and frozen, until Olympus was forced to bargain back. A compromise. Persephone had eaten the food of the dead, a handful of pomegranate seeds, and so she could never fully leave. Half the year above in the light with her mother, half the year below as queen. And that is the cruelty the statues kept. Forever after, Hades became the god who stole spring, the kidnapper, the thief of an innocent girl, for a bargain that Zeus had struck and Hades had carried out by asking permission first. But there is a detail the marble never shows. Persephone did not stay a weeping captive. She became the queen of the dead, dreaded, powerful, named in the same breath as her husband, feared by heroes who would not fear him. The myth only ever carved the abduction. It never carved the crown. So why is the only honest god the villain of the story? Because the people who wrote the myths lived in the bright world of Zeus, and it is always the distant one, the silent one, the one who looks different and lives apart, who takes the blame. Never the powerful one standing right beside you in the light. Never the king you still need something from. If the most faithful figure in the whole story is the one they called the devil, then maybe the question isn't who the monster was. Maybe the question is who was holding the chisel. Next, we tell the story of the god who gave humanity fire and was tortured for eternity for the gift. Prometheus is waiting. The statues lied. They always have.